Hello everyone, it's Kari from sunshineinmypocket.com, and today I have a really fun stenciled card to share with you. Actually, I'm making two cards. I recently got this Sunshine and Rainbows stamp set from Miss Ink Stamps. It has so many great sentiments and I really wanted to use that today, so I'm going to be using that on a couple of cards. And I'm also going to be using one of my very favorite stencils that's pretty new. It's called Cloud Hearts Stencil, and it comes with the insides and the outside of the stencil, so you can do lots of different techniques. Today I'm going to show you two different ideas for the stencil. One thing I also love about this stencil is that it has the lines so that you can see exactly where to line it up on your A2 card panel. So you can kind of see the etched lines around the edges here. See those right there? So that is another favorite for me on this one. Then I'm going to just use a couple of the stencils here from the Rainbow Sky stencil set. This comes with actually another stencil as well, but I'm not going to use that one today, just these two. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a fun technique to use with your stencils, and that is using a couple different stencils at a time. I'm going to start with the smaller heart from the Cloud Heart stencil, and then I'm going to add the rainbow on top, and I'm going to do a rainbow inside the heart. So we'll start off this way, and I'm just going to be using my mini ink blending tools. These are from Altenew, and these are super great when you have to do some detail blending like this. I don't have to mask anything off, and I can just get into those rainbow arcs just perfectly. So look at that. I'm going to start out with the Wild Honey Distress Ink. Then I'm going with the Picked Raspberry. Excuse my crazy hair today. It's going to keep trying to sneak into the video here. But I'm just adding that a little bit here and at a time. And I have a different ink blender for the different color families. Now I'm going to add the orange right in the center. This is I think it's the Spiced Marmalade. So I'll just add that between the pink and the yellow, and you can see that I am making it a little darker on the edges, and I usually start on the stencil and then blend into the rainbow, so hopefully I'm not going to get any harsh lines in my blending. This is the Evergreen Bough. It's one of my favorite greens, so I'll add that there. And we've got the four colors here, and I decided to add an extra arc and put some blue in there. Now my background's going to be blue, but I thought a darker turquoise would be pretty on this rainbow. So I'm going in with some Mermaid Lagoon. And now I'm going to place that inside piece right over what we just stenciled to protect that rainbow. And I'm going to put the larger heart cloud stencil around there. Now I've chosen some different colors of beautiful inks. This is the Summer Shower that I'm using here, and I'm just going to go ahead and ink around that rainbow heart. So we're going to have kind of like a rainbow heart cloud here. As I pull that off, you'll see that we've got that around the rainbow. Now I'll cover up the larger heart with the inside piece from the stencil, and now it's time to do some fun blending with some blues. I start off with the lightest blue, and then I'm going to keep on getting darker and darker as we go down. I started off with Sky Blue, then Summer Shower, then I'll go in with some Seaside, and finally Storm inks. Really, really pretty. So here's my last color, the Storm. And here's a quick tip for you. If you find that you're getting some smudges on your white clouds, go ahead and clean off your stencil between colors, and that should keep your stencil from smudging your paper. I did find I was getting a little bit on my fingers and then accidentally touching the paper, so this is really helpful to do. So now that I peel off that stencil, you can see that I don't have a lot of contrast between the clouds and the heart cloud. So I'm going to do this trick, which I love, and that is to put a deeper shade on the edges. So I'm going in with a purple, and I love this small blending brush again for this particular application. I can just barely go in and still keep the blue heart, but there's purple around the edges. So I love that. And then on the inside of this, I found it was a little too stark white, so I'm going to be blending a little bit of blue in there too, in that heart in the center. So look at that. The pretty dark purple really makes that heart stand out from the clouds. And now I'm going to take the sentiment and try to make it curve along with the rainbow. I was having a tricky time doing this, so I just tried to set it down, pick it up with my MISTI, and then I arranged it on the MISTI to go in that arc, kind of shape it a little bit with my fingers until I got it the way I wanted it. It says, "You color my world," and it's perfect to stamp right there on the yellow, on the lightest color. It really stands out that way. And I did heat emboss it with a little bit of dark gray embossing powder. Now it's time to add some glitter. I'm going to be using this sticky embossing powder. This is from Ranger, and I like to use this with glitter. I've got some Dazzle dust from Missing Stamps. I'm going to be using the pink one today. And this is what I like to do. I tape off around the edges and then take some sticky clear ink. This is the VersaFine ink. And then sprinkle that with the sticky embossing powder. Once that is done, I heat set that just the smallest bit with my heat gun until it disappears. It's so quick. See how fast that was? And then I add the glitter. Now you don't want to overheat this sticky embossing powder or it will lose its stick. That's what makes the glitter stick to it. And so just barely heat that until it's clear, and then I go ahead, add the glitter and heat it again, and that grabs onto the glitter and makes it stay on your card. Now this is not quite as effective as using it with the glossy accents like I did in a previous video, which I'll link if I can remember to link that. But it is another really great technique for when you want to stick some glitter on your card using a stencil. This is super easy. So there you go. I'll do the second side again, and I colored up one of these paintbrushes from the Blooming Brushes Miss Ink stamp set. Now I'm going to attach all of this to a rainbow card panel, and then I will stick the whole thing to a 110-pound card base. And that's going to be our first card for today. I love it with the glitter. I love that sentiment just curved around the rainbow. Super cute. So let's move on to our second one. This one is fun as well. I'm going to be using 3 different ink colors, a light green, which is the fresh pear color. And then I'm going to add this beautiful square dance stencil from Missing Stamps over the top. So you get a really fun design in your heart. And so easy. Did you see how easy that was? Really easy. And then I'll ink around that with a light blue. Now I'll cover up that larger heart with the stencil, and I'm going to ink around the entire outline with a purple ink. So I'm just cleaning off that same stencil that I used before, the square dance stencil, and then I'm going to put it over the top and quickly ink over with purple. So I love these magnets to hold this all in place. One thing that I do wish that I would have done though is I wish I would have lined up the stencil so that it was exactly the same as how I lined it up in the center. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it's a little bit off from the design in the center. See, the design goes up and down in the center and then a little bit diagonal on the outside, but that's okay too. It still looks really cool, and I'll just ink around the edges with that same purple. And I went ahead and white heat embossed the sentiment, sending sunshine and rainbows. And now I'm going to add these beautiful silver baubles from Trinity Stamps to the card, and that will finish off this card. I just added that to a card base, and there you go. So there's both of our cards for today. It's really fun to combine stencils, add it with some inking. I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did and you got some good ideas to try, give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. It does help with YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll be back real soon with more card making inspiration. Thanks for stopping by today. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.